And he started it up again. And it spread like wildfire. It spread everywhere. And it was going everywhere. Then guess what happened? Satan, aware of what's going on, not liking it. Do you know what would happen in the 16th century? You'd have people, fallen away Catholic priests. One named Martin Luther, a fallen away Catholic priest. Yep, I hope you know this stuff. The dude had so many crazy ideas that he started attacking the church, said purgatory isn't real, sacraments, most of them are this nonsense, and he especially went after this. He hated it. There's a book that exists to this day in Germany that has his writings in the margins of a confraternity book on the Rosary, and he slams it. What is this nonsense? Why would you pray this? Why would he not like this? Because to him it was a work. They didn't like works. To him, the indulgences that were given by the church, he didn't like indulgences. He didn't believe in them. Purgatory. Why pray for something that doesn't exist? If you're praying the Rosary to help souls in purgatory, that's nonsense, he said in the margin of that book. And he got a whole ton of people to go against it. Tons and tons. Then you know what happened? Something else. 16th century was a battle century. After the Protestant rebellion, guess who else started to attack the church in a huge way? They've been attacking it since they came into existence. Islam. Just like today. Ain't nothing new. We think this is new? This is a centuries old story here, my friends. They wanted to conquer Rome. Literally, just like today they say. I hope you guys see these videos because you won't see this stuff on the news media. Today, they still want to conquer Rome. They want to wrap a turban around the Pope's head and turn St. Peter's into a mosque. That's a fact. They wanted to do this in a huge way in the 16th century, and they were very close to doing it because Christendom was divided. Many people were leaving the Catholic Church, and there was division amongst Christians. A right time to pick, as they called it, the apple of Rome and take it. They'd already taken Constantinople, right, and renamed it Istanbul and turned Santa Sophia, the greatest basic Catholic church in the East, into a mosque. Now they wanted Rome. That's what they've always wanted. And they were so close to doing it that they formed a militia, a huge militia, massive in numbers, with skilled men to arm the boats. Unbelievable navy that they had. Guess who was Pope at this time? A Dominican. God provides. St. Pope Pius V. You know what he did? He mandated that all Christendom pray the Rosary as a weapon against this threat. Because if they took over Rome, the West is lost. He knew this. And he mandated that this be prayed, and he himself prayed it at the Dominican church in Rome. Santa Maria sopra Minerva. In that church, he himself prayed it. I could go on and on about the story of the battle, but it was a miraculous battle. Everything was against the Christian navy, but they won. The wind came, turned in their favor, put a fog on the Muslim side, and they came in and they won in a miraculous way. And it saved the West, basically saved Christianity as well. And they were not happy. And they've never been happy since. And they keep trying. My book will detail pretty much every single story of how they've tried to conquer Christendom, and still do, and want to, and are thirsting for its destruction. They've even got something that looks like this and kind of mocks it. I ain't kidding. This is a spiritual battle. It's a clash of creeds. It's warfare spiritually. If they could, they would destroy this. There's a battle going on. But you know what happened? God raised up saints, great great men like St. Charles Borromeo and St. Robert Bellarmine and St. Philip Neri, and tons and tons. The litany could go on and on and on, who preached, promoted this. And then you know what happened? Incredible things happened. Our Lady goes to Mexico to a little dude named Juan Diego, converts 10 million people in like 8 years. Dominicans arrived. They set up confraternities of the Rosary. The great Catholic missions begin around the world in the 16th century. And what happens? Every single missionary, from St. Francis Xavier, you name it, took this with them everywhere they went. When they went to the Philippines, what happened? Our Lady of Naval, Our Lady of the Rosary of Naval went there. No matter what country the missionaries went to, they brought this. There's even stories, and I'm not making this up, of a woman named Venerable Mary of Agreda, a nun in Spain during this time, who was able to bilocate. Oh, I don't know if you know what that is. That means you can be in multiple places at one time. The saints can do this. St. Padre Pio and a whole bunch of other ones. St. Faustina, tons of them could do this. She was a nun in Spain. Nobody thought anything. You know, she writes books, she prays a lot. Well, in this country, actually, in your area, you're going to want to look this up. Before this was all mapped out and this was Arizona and this was the United States and whatnot, there was a tribe of Indians that were kind of in this area, more in New Mexico and West Texas, what we call that now, called Humano Indians. Guess what was happening to this tribe? There was a woman coming to them and teaching them about Catholicism. And she was telling them, this is what the Eucharist is, this is who the Virgin Mary is. There's going to be Catholic priests who are going to come soon, and they're going to tell you everything I've been telling you, and they're going to give you the sacraments. Guess what happened? Franciscan and then Jesuit missionaries came to that area and came upon a tribe in the middle of nowhere of Indians who knew Catholicism. How in the world? And the tribe said to these missionaries, yes, the woman in blue has been coming to us for years and telling us that you would come. And she told us, and you know what they already had in their hands? Rosaries. Because when she was bilocating in her convent in Spain, she had piles of them not being used. She took them with her and gave them to the Indians. The missionaries thought that these Indians were talking, they had a vision of the Virgin Mary, a woman dressed in blue. But the Indians said, no, we know who the Virgin Mary is. She told us about her, but it wasn't her. It was somebody else, but we don't know who she was. Well, in those days, the missionaries kept great logs, and some of these missionaries were actually from Spain. So it didn't take very long for them to discover that it was this nun who was reported to be a mystic, who was writing a big fat volume about the life of the Blessed Virgin Mary, who was bilocating to this tribe. Look this up. It's a fact. It was even in secular things of the time. Not the Catholic Church making this up. It's true.